Hey, my name is David Powers, and I'd like to talk to you for a few minutes about a unique approach to customer service. That is, the kind of customer service that is done in a call center with inbound and outbound calls. I have a rather unique way of viewing this based on my own experience. I am in the customer service business and have been for several years, partly for some of that time as a supervisor. But if you flash back several years before that, I spent about 3 years in the Screen Actors Guild as a struggling actor. I did a few regional television commercials and a few years later, maybe a dozen theatrical presentations, stage work. I wasn't terribly successful. As a matter of fact, I still to this day wake up in a cold sweat over a certain audition that I failed miserably at for a featured role in the new Leave It to Beaver with a mature Tony Dow and Jerry Mathers. Mel Johnson, if you're still around, can you please let me do that again? Well, that was 30 years ago, 40 years ago. Anyway, at any rate, some of the techniques I picked up in studying acting, I have learned to apply to customer service work. People who are in that line of work say, no, 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 no. Sales is the field that requires acting ability. Wrong. Customer service is also an acting job. As a matter of fact, there is an element of performance acting to just about everything we human beings do socially. In various contexts, each of us is a social actor with everybody we meet. At any rate, years ago, I did some studying in acting with Ken Donovan, who was, among other things, the Marlboro Man in a number of advertisements for Marlboro cigarettes. That's going way back. With Michael J. Stark, who was a leading actor on The Guiding Light for a while. With Mel Johnson, who was a casting director at Universal Studios Orlando. And some of the things I picked up from them and from some other people, here we go. I'm going to advise all of you. First of all, there's something that bothers me, and that is a phenomenon I call choir mouth. I took some singing along the way, and choir singers tend, as a rule, and this is correct for them, to hold their mouths in a round, tall fashion, keeping the vowels round and full, like Oklahoma. That's what singers do. It works for singers. It doesn't work for people in customer service on the phone. You don't want to say, "Thank you for calling David Frank Incorporated. How can we assist you today?" No, choir mouth doesn't work. You have to spread it for customer service. You have to say, "Thank you for calling David Frank Incorporated. How can we help you today?" See, it's warmer. You don't want choir mouth on the phone. You don't want to say, how would you how would you like it if you caught your spouse cheating on you and she said, "I'm terribly sorry for the inconvenience, but what can we do to rectify the situation? I would be happy to atone for it in any way that I want." No, 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 no. You want, "I'm so sorry for what I did. I don't know how I could have done it." The same rules that apply in interpersonal engagements in person apply on the phone. And as you are approaching your job as a customer service person on the phone, before you let the calls hit you, ask yourself, what's my character? What is my character? What character am I playing as I interact with my customers? How about this one? I'm going to be the kindest, most genuine, most concerned, warmest customer service person that this customer ever encountered at any business. That's my role. Okay, set your role, define your character, get in character, and then take your calls and talk to your customers, or make your calls and talk to your customers. Acting is largely about mental work. It's about preparing for the engagement with the other character. If an actor is about to walk into a scene on stage, he or she has to take several minutes to get in character before stepping into the spotlight. You have to say, okay, what's my motivation? What's my role? What's my intent? And what is my relationship to the other character or characters in the scene? There's a backstory involving the characters, a prequel story, and each actor has to have that in mind before he speaks the dialogue or she speaks the dialogue. Let's say you're in a call center and you're making outbound calls and a name pops up on your computer screen. Let's say, Miranda Goldstein. Now, you've never met Miranda Goldstein. You don't know her from Adam. But here's a little mental trick. It's an acting technique. As the phone is ringing and you're seeing that name on your screen, imagine, pretend that you know Miranda Goldstein. Now, you don't really, but pretend. Imagine that you have a wonderful history with her. You were old friends in high school, old friends in college. You went on cookouts together. You went boating together. She's one of your best friends. And as the phone is ringing, say, it's going to be so great to talk to Miranda again. I really miss her. I hope she's doing well. I'm so excited to talk to her. Then she'll pick up. And of course, you don't know her really. You're not going to say, hey, Miranda, how you doing? You still have that record collection of Bee Gees records? Oh, how you doing? How have you been? How are the kids? Oh, of course you're not. You're going to say, I'm calling on behalf of David Frank Incorporated. May I please speak with Miranda Goldstein about her? Of course. It's going to be professional. But if you do the mental preparation and psych yourself up for what will be a pleasant encounter, an element of warmth, an overtone of warmth will be injected into your voice. Subliminally, the customer will hear it, and it will make a difference. You ever been in a bank and you walk into the bank lobby and you want to talk to a bank officer? Okay, you're escorted into a little cubicle or a little glass enclosed office. And you're there in person, and the bank officer stands up. He or she is in a nice suit, and he or she says, David, how are you? Good to see you. How have you been? Thank you. Would you like a chocolate? A little fattening maybe, but we have some chocolates if you like. I'm so happy that you're our customer. Now, what brings you in? What can we help you with? Have a seat. Make yourself at home. Okay, that's what happens in person. As you're in your call center and the phone is ringing, you're dialing out, you're receiving a call, pretend that you are that bank officer in your little cubicle and the customer is stepping into your space. They're not just a voice on the phone, they're in your cubicle. They are standing right behind your computer screen. And when you say, may I please speak to Miranda Goldstein, she's standing right there. Imagine she's there. Miranda, how nice. How are you? How have you been? Thank you so much for your business. You're one of our longest standing and most valued customers, and I don't know what we'd do without you. You're so loyal. Thank you. Have a chocolate. Okay, great. Now bring that same attitude to the interaction over the phone. The telephone can be a distancing medium. You're on the phone, it's ringing, and you're thinking, another 15 minutes and I can go to lunch. Nobody can see you. Your customers can't see you, so, you could, who knows, you could be doing all kinds of crazy stuff, belching. Pretend that they're right there in person and see what a difference it makes, I'll tell you, I'll give you a true story, and this has to do with the fact that customer service is all about listening and communicating. I had to call an anesthesiology practice about some work that they did for me in the month of March, a year or so ago. They had shut down their patient services portal on the internet. All I wanted was a statement. I wanted a copy of my statement showing me how much I owed them for services they provided in the month of March. Okay? They shut down their patient services portal and I couldn't get my statement online anymore. I went on the internet and Googled them. They didn't have any address online. And the phone number was the same. It referred me to a customer service number that I had on a card that I had from them. So every time I called the number, the customer service person, after saying, how can I assist you today, said that, I'm so sorry, you were handled in the month of March, and this office only services dates of service from June and onward, okay? June and onward. And I would say, what do I do? And they'd say, I'm terribly sorry for the inconvenience, but this office only services accounts that were serviced from June onward. You were serviced in March. I was talking to one of these reps and I said, John, drop the script for a minute. And I want to talk to you person to person. What do I do? I mean, all I want is a copy of my statement. I was handled and served in the month of March. Everybody tells me that nobody handles anything prior to June. Put yourself in my shoes. What should I do? And of course, now he's thinking, I got an angry customer. Angry customer. Where's that spreadsheet? Where's that sheet with the rebuttals for angry customer? Oh, here it is. So while I'm telling him how frustrated I am, he's preparing his rebuttal. As soon as I'm done speaking, he's going to, read the rebuttal. And of course, I finish speaking, and he says, I'm terribly sorry for your inconvenience, but we only service for the month of June onward. Blah, 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 blah. All I wanted was to be acknowledged and to be heard and not to be treated as, somebody who the guy's just waiting for me to finish speaking so he can read his script. It's not about waiting until you have the opportunity to speak. It's about listening. Listening. Everything is about listening. Relationships are based on listening. Successful relationships, personal and professional, are all about hearing. If you're talking to a customer and in the course of the conversation it comes up that the customer is born in a country other than yours, consider it a golden opportunity for you to be an ambassador of goodwill on the part of your nation. Maybe this is a person who is a naturalized citizen to your country. Maybe this is a person who just emigrated to your country and just stepped off the plane. But through your interactions with this person, let them come away saying, wow, I'm so glad I came to this country. What nice people live here. What a nice person I just talked to. I hope everybody in this country is that nice. It's an awesome responsibility, and it's not to be taken lightly. If you use some of these techniques, I promise you'll have a more rewarding relationship with all of your customers. My name is David. Thanks a lot.